everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I sat right here and told y'all there was activity on the darknet. Videos were being distributed and were going to be sold for profit because the diddler needs the money. Did I not say that?
Said that.
Right here.
Yes.
The hip-hop world woke up to another industry earthquake when 50 Cent dropped a cryptic warning that instantly sent shockwaves across music, sports, and entertainment circles. This time, the message wasn't aimed at a struggling rapper or a fading mogul. It was aimed straight at one of the most protected figures in modern sports culture. The name alone carried enough weight to make executives nervous. Lawyers reach for phones and social media light up with speculation. 50 Cent didn't yell. He didn't rant. He didn't need to. A few calculated words, a reference to new tapes, and a warning that felt less like a threat and more like a countdown was all it took. For years, 50 Cent has built a reputation as someone who doesn't bluff. When he speaks, people listen because history shows he usually knows more than he says. His past clashes have shown a pattern. First comes silence, then a tease, then receipts. The moment he hinted that tapes existed, industry insiders immediately started connecting dots that had been floating around for years but never publicly lined up. Relationships once marketed as untouchable suddenly felt fragile. The mention of tapes alone triggered memories of previous scandals that reshaped careers overnight.
Convince the gang that it was rooted in love when it isn't. Show me how different we are. There's black. Yo, LeBron, the secret you've been had is the worst secret everybody in the industry don't know. That's why we all been looking at Drake to be like, Drake, you might lose a ring, nigga. Stop playing. Stop playing, bro. Stop playing. Don't you see Drake is in Crash Out?
In today's digital age, recorded material is power. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It doesn't need special effects. A voice, a conversation, or context stripped of PR polish can dismantle an image built over decades. That's what made this moment different. This wasn't gossip from a random account. This was a calculated signal from someone who understands leverage better than most executives in boardrooms. LeBron's public image has always been carefully constructed. Champion athlete, business visionary, cultural leader, every move documented, every statement polished, but the entertainment industry has always blurred lines between music, sports, and power. Behind endorsement deals and inspirational speeches, there are conversations that never reach the public. 50 Cent's warning suggested that some of those conversations might not align with the narrative fans have been sold. What made the moment even more intense was the timing. With multiple high-profile controversies shaking the industry, audiences are already primed to believe that no one is as untouchable as they once seemed.
Because this is a lot of the personal footage of Diddy. It shocked a lot of people. And I know, 50, the way you run, this cannot be all that you have. Is there other stuff that you just have not shown?
Yeah, well, everything couldn't make it was 4 episodes.
Right.
So it was a lot. You had to pick and choose things. Like.
So are you coming out? I know next year is going to be a number 2. Season 2?
I just put it on YouTube.
I just put it on YouTube.
Trust in celebrity branding has been eroding, and people are paying closer attention to who stays silent and who speaks up. When 50 Cent hinted that LeBron could be next, it didn't sound random. It sounded strategic. This wasn't about beef. It wasn't about clout. It felt like a message aimed at power itself. And once that door is cracked open, it rarely closes quietly. To understand why this warning hit so hard, it's necessary to look at 50 Cent's long history of exposing uncomfortable truths. He's never positioned himself as a hero, but he has consistently positioned himself as someone who refuses to play industry games. From record labels to streaming deals to behind-the-scenes alliances, he's repeatedly shown that loyalty in entertainment is conditional. When interests shift, silence breaks. Over the years, 50 Cent has hinted at knowing far more about elite circles than he ever publicly confirms. He doesn't dump information recklessly. Instead, he applies pressure. A single post can freeze negotiations. A vague caption can spark panic. That's how insiders recognize credibility. People don't panic unless there's something to lose. LeBron's name entering that pattern changed everything. Unlike musicians, athletes often operate behind an even thicker shield. Their legacies are protected by leagues, sponsors, and media partnerships worth billions. Any controversy is usually softened, redirected, or buried. But 50 Cent doesn't operate within those systems. He operates outside them, which makes him unpredictable and dangerous to reputations built on control. The idea of tapes raised questions that no PR team wants asked. Are these business calls, private strategy discussions, conversations involving other powerful figures? Even the uncertainty alone can damage trust.
Those people who was caught at Diddy party did not know that he had 250 tape recorders in that house. That's a big house. But he had 250 tape recorders.
Once the public starts speculating, the narrative escapes control. Silence becomes suspicious. Denials feel rehearsed. What stands out is that 50 Cent didn't release anything immediately. That restraint is what made the warning louder. It suggested that the tapes aren't leverage for attention, but leverage for timing. He knows when to drop information for maximum impact. He's done it before. The longer he waits, the more tension builds. Meanwhile, industry observers started revisiting old interviews, old partnerships, and moments that once seemed harmless. Deals that were praised as visionary suddenly looked strategic in a different way. Associations once considered inspirational now felt transactional. This is how reputations begin to shift, not through accusations, but through reinterpretation. The warning wasn't loud, it was precise. And precision is what makes powerful people nervous. LeBron's rise has always been about more than basketball. From a young age, he was positioned as a global brand. Every step, every decision, every endorsement was part of a long-term strategy. That level of success doesn't happen without complex alliances. Those alliances often exist in spaces the public never sees. Private meetings, off-record conversations, strategic compromises. 50 Cent's warning suggested that some of those private moments may exist outside the clean narrative fans are familiar with. Not illegal, not scandalous by default, but revealing enough to challenge the image of transparency. In today's climate, perception matters as much as facts. Once doubt enters the conversation, certainty disappears. What makes this situation volatile is how quickly narratives shift online. Fans who once defended without hesitation are now asking questions. Comment sections are dissecting past statements. Clips are being re-uploaded with new captions. Context is being rewritten in real time. This is how reputations erode, not through a single revelation, but through sustained curiosity. The phrase "new tapes" also implied something recent, not old history, not recycled rumors. That detail alone changed the tone. It suggested that whatever exists is connected to current power structures, not past mistakes. That's where discomfort grows. People can forgive youth. They struggle to forgive present influence. LeBron's silence so far has been measured. No denial, no acknowledgement. That strategy often works when accusations lack substance. But when the source is someone with a proven track record of receipts, silence becomes risky. Every hour without clarity allows speculation to grow roots. At the same time, 50 Cent continues business as usual. No frantic posts, no defensive tone. That calmness reinforces the perception that he's holding cards others can't see. Power isn't loud, it waits. This moment feels less like an explosion and more like pressure building behind a dam. The question isn't whether something happens, it's how controlled the release will be. The entertainment industry has been quietly shifting for years. Old gatekeepers are losing control as independent voices gain platforms. Information doesn't need mainstream approval anymore. Once something leaks, it lives forever. That's why warnings like this matter more than the material itself. They signal vulnerability in systems once considered unbreakable. LeBron represents more than an individual. He represents a model. Athlete as executive, brand as moral authority, voice as leadership. Challenging that model threatens more than one career. It threatens an entire structure that profits from carefully curated images. 50 Cent understands structures. He's built empires inside and outside music. He knows where pressure points exist. When he speaks, it's rarely emotional. It's strategic. His warning didn't attack character directly. It implied exposure. That's far more effective. Behind closed doors, situations like this often trigger damage control long before the public sees anything. Legal teams review contracts. Partners assess risk. Media allies prepare narratives. All of that happens silently. The audience only sees the final version, if anything is released at all. Released at all. What's different now is audience skepticism. Viewers are no longer satisfied with polished statements. They've seen too many situations unravel after initial denials. Trust has been replaced with watchfulness. People are waiting, not reacting. This also places pressure on 50 Cent himself. Once a warning is issued, expectations are set. He knows that credibility is currency. Empty threats damage future influence. His past suggests he wouldn't make this move without substance. The industry doesn't fear rumors, it fears documentation. And documentation is exactly what was implied. As days pass, the silence grows louder. Every unrelated headline feels connected. Every appearance is analyzed for body language, tone, and omission. This is the invisible cost of unresolved tension. Even without releases, the narrative has already shifted. Fans are divided. Some dismiss it as theatrics. Others believe it's the beginning of something larger. Both reactions serve the same function. They keep attention locked. Attention is pressure. Pressure forces decisions. LeBron's legacy has always been built on control. Control of image, control of message, control of trajectory. Situations like this test that control. No amount of championships can fully protect against uncertainty. 50 Cent, meanwhile, continues to operate as an outsider with insider knowledge. That paradox is what gives him leverage. He's close enough to know, distant enough to speak. Whether the tapes surface or not, the warning has already done damage. It reminded the public that even the most celebrated figures operate within systems that aren't always clean. It exposed how fragile reputation can be when narratives collide. This moment isn't about guilt or innocence. It's about power, perception, and timing. And in this industry, timing decides everything. As the situation continues to unfold, one thing is clear. The era of untouchable icons is fading. Warnings like this don't come from nowhere. They come from tension built over years. If the tapes are released, the fallout could reshape partnerships and public trust. If they aren't, the warning itself will still linger as a shadow over carefully constructed narratives. Either way, the balance has shifted. 50 Cent didn't expose anything yet. He exposed vulnerability. And sometimes that's more disruptive than facts alone. The industry is watching. Fans are waiting. Silence is no longer neutral. Stay locked in for updates as this story develops, because situations like this rarely end quietly. If this breakdown helped connect the dots, make sure to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing for more deep dives, and staying tuned for the next chapter.